I'm wondering why you think this story is best told as a movie rather than, say, a book.
Well, I think it's ability to see David in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the incredibly handsome man that he is here sitting next to me.
Yeah, you replaced me like this old homeless guy that...
Otherwise we need to have like Hardy Boy style sort of illustrations inside of the book. No, I mean, I think that I've always been sort of, attracted to film as a medium that really, sort of succeeds in bringing something to life. I think that when you get journalists in a environment and in a period when the stakes are really high, which they were because of sort of economic conditions affecting newspapers, then you can really get some tremendous, cinematic moments.
Sure.
Journalism books never sell. I was doing an appearance for the book I wrote, and somebody said, why don't you do a book about the media? And we were on the 4th floor of the Barnes & Noble in New York, and it was, so you're on the highest floor, and there's a shelf way back in the corner that's the farthest shelf away from the door. And I said, do you know what books are in that shelf that's the farthest away from the door on the 4th floor? All the media books. I told Andrew that this is not the stuff of movies. You have middle-aged people typing in cubes with headsets on. And I think he proved me a liar. I think it looks, it walks, it talks like a movie. And the nice thing is, through the magic of editing, all the broken plays, all the quotidian aspects of what you do and what I do, all the sort of non-stories that you have to write anyway, you don't have to look at it.
Yeah, you just see the highlights.
It's just like, it's like everything's cooking along. It doesn't show me wandering around having no idea what I was doing, whether my story would work or not. So it looks so much more heroic than what we actually do.
But I do think that David is really, he started out not started out, but previously was the Carpetbagger, which was a New York Times blog about the Oscar season.
Sure. Thank you.
He's right now behind the camera. He's breaking the fourth wall in a very
See, that's how I do, man.
Exactly.
That's how I do. Plus 7 years fine dining, I know how to pour a cup of coffee.
Wow. So it's funny though, actually, because David would talk to camera more than sort of I'm used to with subjects. And so in the beginning, I think that we kind of were like getting used to each other a little bit, but I sort of embraced that towards the end. And our editor, Chad Beck, who was one of the editors on Inside Job, Charles Ferguson's movie about the economy, he had like a sequence of all the sort of David like coming right into the camera and talking to the camera.
A lot of the movie is, I guess, examining the mortality of the New York Times. Does the fact that this movie exists, that this movie is made about the New York Times, have dire implications for a smaller paper, say the Minneapolis Star-Tribune or the St. Paul Pioneer Press, or is that sort of an apples and oranges sort of comparison?
What I would say about that is, I think the New York Times is in a different business than the regional papers. Regional papers, more so than community papers or national papers, are particularly imperiled. Consolidation of department stores, Craigslist. We could go down the list. But if you look at the Star-Tribune, which was in bankruptcy, the last cert period, they upped Sunday circulation 5.7%. It's like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That suggests that maybe not only toes touch bottom, but maybe they'll come back a little bit. I think that being the primary news resource in a place as complicated or interesting as Minneapolis or as St. Paul is going to be a business. Whether it will be as large, we don't know. But there's got to be an engine, somebody that makes phone calls somewhere between City Pages and Star Tribune and MinPost and Pioneer Press and NPR, that there's got to be a maintenance of a journalistic resource that's worthy of the community that it serves.